Rain lashed against the windshield of Route 47's bus so violently it seemed the sky itself was trying to wash something off the earth. Something unclean. Something that didn't belong among the living. Driver Daniel Harroway had been behind the wheel for 11 straight hours. His partner, Taylor Briggs, had called at 3 p.m. claiming he was sick. Dispatcher Cynthia Morris asked Daniel to cover the evening run. He agreed. He needed the money. His daughter Emma was undergoing treatment at St. Luke's Medical Center, and the bills were piling up faster than he could pay them. Route 47 cut straight through Collinsville, a small town in Ohio, and terminated at the Blackmur Quarry stop. The quarry had been abandoned for years. No one knew why. Locals didn't like to talk about it. The last run departed at 11:15 p.m. There were 7 passengers. Daniel noticed them as he was closing the doors at the starting stop outside Ridgeline Mall. 7 of them. He hadn't seen where they came from.
One moment the plaza was empty. Rain had driven everyone indoors, and the next they were just standing there, silent, in a row. An elderly woman in a gray coat, a middle-aged man in a business suit with a soaked tie, 2 teenagers in hoodies, a young woman with a stroller, a tall man in a construction worker's coveralls, and the last one, a little boy about 8 years old, standing slightly apart from the rest. Daniel opened the doors. They boarded without a word. Not one greeted him, not one met his eyes. They took their seats evenly spaced throughout the bus, as if they'd prearranged it. The boy sat directly behind the driver's seat and stared out the window. "Where to?" Daniel asked the air, since no one had called out a stop. "To the end," the boy said. His voice was wrong, too even, too adult. Daniel chalked it up to exhaustion and pulled away from the curb. The first 10 minutes passed in silence. Only the rain, only the wipers, only wet asphalt beneath the tires. Daniel kept glancing in the rearview mirror. The passengers didn't move. At all. The man in the suit sat rigid as a mannequin. The elderly woman stared out the window without blinking. Daniel watched longer than he should have and realized she hadn't blinked once the entire time. He forced his eyes back to the road and gripped the wheel tighter. At the Cherry Street stop, no one got off. Daniel opened the doors, waited the required 30 seconds, and closed them again. In the mirror, he saw that not a single person had even shifted, as if they hadn't noticed the stop at all. "Cherry Street," he announced into the mic. "We're going to the end," the boy said again from behind him. Daniel turned around. The boy was looking at him. His eyes were brown, ordinary child's eyes, but there was nothing childlike in them. No curiosity, no fear, no life. "What's your name?" Daniel asked. "Oliver." "Where are your parents, Oliver?" The boy smiled slowly. The corners of his mouth rose too high, too symmetrical. "They're here," he said. At the Maple Avenue stop, Daniel decided to call dispatch. He pulled out his phone and dialed Cynthia's number. It rang for a long time. Then she answered. "Cynthia, I've got weird passengers," he said quietly, trying not to be overheard. "7 of them, riding to the quarry. They're acting—" "Daniel," she interrupted. Her voice was different, slow, thick. "What?" "Don't stop." "What did you say?" "Take them to the end, Daniel. To the terminal. It has to be this way." The line went dead. Daniel stared at his phone screen. Then he looked in the mirror. Oliver was smiling. The city limits fell behind them. The road climbed into the woods. No streetlights out here. The bus's headlights carved only a narrow strip of wet asphalt and tree trunks from the darkness. The rain intensified. Daniel realized he couldn't stop the bus. Not because he didn't want to. He was stomping on the brakes, again and again. His foot hit the floor,
but the speed didn't drop. The engine purred steadily, the bus rolled on smoothly, and nothing changed, even as Daniel slammed both feet onto the brake pedal and shouted. "You have to keep driving," the boy said from behind his seat. "You're our driver. You've always been our driver." "What does that mean?" Daniel yelled. Oliver stood up and walked over to him. He stood beside the driver's seat and looked out at the road. He barely reached Daniel's shoulder. "Do you remember November 23rd? He asked. Daniel went still. November 23rd. 3 years ago, the same route, the same rain. He'd been just as exhausted then as he was tonight. He'd missed the red light at the Cherry Street intersection. He'd missed the people in the crosswalk. He'd never spoken of it aloud. He'd driven away, just fled, panicked. Told himself he wasn't sure. Told himself maybe he'd swerved in time. Maybe he hadn't hit anyone. He'd seen the local news reports, read them, but kept telling himself it wasn't him. 7 dead. "No," Daniel whispered. "You remember us," Oliver said. "You just don't want to. Those are different things." Daniel looked in the rearview mirror. The elderly woman in gray, the man with the soaked tie, the 2 teenagers, the young woman with the stroller, and now he saw it clearly. An infant lay inside, tiny, motionless. The construction worker with massive calloused hands folded in his lap, and Oliver beside him. 7. "Where are you taking me?" Daniel asked, though he already knew. "We're not taking you," Oliver said. "You're taking us. You always take us. Every night. You just don't remember when you wake up." "That's impossible. You haven't woken up in 3 years, Daniel." Headlights caught the sign ahead. Blackmur Quarry. The terminal. Daniel saw the sign, white letters on blue. Terminal. The road ended at the quarry's edge. There was no guardrail. There never had been. He hammered the brakes. He yanked the emergency brake. He tried to force the door open, to jump, but his hands wouldn't obey. His body sat rigid, just like every passenger behind him. "Why me?" he whispered. "Why not just let it end?" Oliver looked at him with something resembling pity. "Because you drove away," he said simply. "Those who stay, they move on. Those who run, they come back, again and again. We didn't choose you, Daniel. You chose us. That night at the intersection, when you pressed the gas." The bus rolled to the edge, stopped. The doors hissed open. The passengers stood. One by one, they walked past Daniel and stepped out into the rain and dark. The elderly woman, the man in the tie, the teenagers, the young woman with the stroller, the construction worker. Oliver was last. He paused on the bottom step and turned back. "Tomorrow night, you'll be waiting for us outside the mall again," he said. "At 11:15. You won't remember this conversation. You never do. But we always come." He stepped off into the darkness and vanished with the others. The doors closed. The bus pulled forward, turned around, drove back toward town. The next morning, dispatcher Cynthia Morris arrived at work and found Route 47's bus parked in the depot. Clean, tidy, engine cold. The keys sat on the driver's seat. Daniel Harroway was nowhere to be found. She called him. No answer. She filed a missing person report. Police searched Blackmur Quarry. They found tire tracks at the cliff's edge and nothing else. The quarry was flooded 20 meters deep, and no one volunteered to dive. A week later, a new driver was assigned to Route 47, a young guy named Kevin Stewart. On his first evening shift, Kevin asked Cynthia, "Is the last stop really at the quarry? Weird place for a terminal." "Always has been," she said, not looking up from her monitor. Don't think about it. Kevin shrugged and headed to the bus. The last run departed at 11:15 p.m. At the Ridgeline Mall stop, they were already waiting. 7 of them,